my name is Lauren Golden. Welcome to Free Mama TV. If you're brand new here, I'm so excited to have you. We have hundreds of videos at this point talking to you about how to work from home, control your schedule, and make more money. And more often than not, of the 40,000 women that are in the Free Mama movement today, most of them have started as a virtual assistant. It is the greatest place to start in the online space because the barrier for entry is so stinking low. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video is how the heck do I become a virtual assistant? Like I said, my name is Lauren Golden. I'm the founder of the Free Mama and the Free Mama movement. We have a community of tens of thousands of women just like you who want to be more in control of their life. You want to have flexibility over how you spend your time and what your earning potential is. Like, this is amazing. So you're in the right place. First and foremost, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I drop new episodes every single Tuesday, and your feedback's really important. So talk to me down in the comments below. Let me know what questions you have, what clarification you need, all of that stuff, because that's where we come up with how we create our content. And before we get started with today's video, I also want to invite you to join the Free Mama Movement Facebook page. This is where our community helps out. We love on each other. We celebrate wins. We pick each other up when we're having a hard time, and we answer all the questions in between. We also have tons of helpful tips, motivation, and I'm in there live and in the comments every single day. So make sure you guys join. It's an amazing place to hang out. All right, now that we got all that out of the way, I want to talk to you today about how to become a virtual assistant. And like I said, the barrier for getting started, the barrier for entry, it's so low, you guys. All you really need is a computer and Wi-Fi. And if you don't have a computer, either go to a library or get started on your phone. Seriously, you can start. All you need is access to the internet, basically, and you can get started. Now, as you grow, as you get going, you're probably going to want access to either a laptop or a desktop computer. I work off of a laptop, and I actually have a dual monitor over here because I am a snob and I like to be able to see a lot of things. Monitors are actually pretty inexpensive. And so those two things work together for me. And this is kind of my workstation, but really all you need is a computer and Wi-Fi. You do not need a degree. You do not need fancy certifications. You really don't even need a computer. You don't. You can start on your phone. So there's no excuses about not getting started. That's all you need right there. So in today's video, I want to talk to you though about 3 things on how you can become a virtual assistant. And before we jump into those 3 things, I want to kind of talk to you like mindset for a second, because the real answer to how to become a virtual assistant is to start telling people you're a virtual assistant. Okay. So this is your like ninja hack in today's video. We're just going to get it out of the way at the very beginning, although stick around because I have something for you at the end that like is really going to help you become a virtual assistant. So make sure you stick around with me so you can figure out how to download that free resource. But the ninja hack is don't think about it. Don't wait for it. I'm going to watch all of Lauren's videos on this channel and then I'm going to be a virtual assistant, or I'm going to like go do this thing. No, like if you want to be a virtual assistant, start telling people right now you're a virtual assistant, because the other thing you really don't. Okay. So remember, we don't need a degree. We don't need a certification. We don't need a computer. We also do not need anybody's permission. Okay. So if you want to be a VA, you're a VA right now. Congratulations. I'm the first person to congratulate you, hopefully, maybe. And so that's very, very exciting. All right, let's dive into those 3 things, these 3 kind of tactical things or areas that I want you to get thinking about, because this is going to speed up your results. Is going to speed up your success, which means it's going to speed up the amount of time it takes you to land a client and actually get paid, which is a better definition of being a virtual assistant, because yes, you can call yourself a virtual assistant and your mindset's going to change and you're going to start taking actions like you are. But technically, if we're not making any money, it's a hobby, not a business. So my goal is to get you paid as quickly as possible. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and like this video so that I know you're still here with me. That'd be amazing. Like today's video. The 3 things we're going to talk about in today's video. Number 1, basics of opening a business. All right. So what we're talking about here is just a handful of logistics. Number one, I have a lot of more in-depth trainings on this channel. So make sure you stick around because this video would be like 2 hours long if I went through all of the content right here in this video. But the first is pick a name for your business. Just pick a name and don't make it harder than it has to be. Okay. What are you going to call yourself? What are you going to put on your invoices? What do you need for your social media handles or a domain for your website in the future? We're not building it now. Pinky promised me we're not building it now, but down the road, because you will need the domain when we get to step 2. Okay. So basics of opening a business. Number 1, pick a name for your business. If you're struggling to do that, watch this video as soon as you're done with this one so that you can check that thing off of your to-do list. Okay. The next thing is, now that we've got a business name, you want to select your business entity. Okay. Now you can start as a sole proprietor. You're still going to want to probably get on Google and figure out in your state, country, city, whatever, what is the documentation that you need? And it does vary. So go ahead, go over to Google. It's not super hard. Just type in like how to open a business and try it. Type in your town and then type in your state. If you live in the United States, each Secretary of State will have its own website. The fees look different depending on where you live. But again, don't make this harder than it has to be. If you are opening an LLC, which I highly recommend, there is going to be an additional investment up front. However, you are also going to get to take advantage of tax deductions that you might not have access to if you choose to operate as a sole proprietor. I know for me, back when I started freelancing in 2014-15, it was really important for me to go ahead and take that leap to open the LLC because it made me start to act like a real business owner, as opposed to like, I'm kind of dipping my feet in. I'm going to try this. I'm going to see how this goes. It was like definitive. It's like, no, I am working as a freelancer. This is my company. And here is my legal documentation. If you have any questions about the difference between a sole proprietor or an LLC, or you want to hear more about those tax benefits of being a business owner, there's a video interview that I did with Kaylee Jacome, who is an attorney I work with, as well as Noemi, who is a fellow free mama, bookkeeper, and tax accountant. And I think it's going to answer a lot of your questions and make this not so overwhelming. Make sure you don't skip this step because it is going to be really important not to commingle your funds. You want to make sure that you're going to get a business checking account that's going to link to how you get paid. Remember, my goal is to help you make money. So make sure that you whether you're a sole proprietor or LLC, there's going to be certain documentation you need to open a business checking account. So those are some of the basics about opening a business that will make you legal. You'll feel really secure about what you're doing and not like you're going to get in trouble in the future. And I promise you, it's not as intimidating as you think it is. Just listen to these experts from these videos that I recommended and take it one step at a time. Speaking of tax benefits, the last thing you need to do to kind of get your business organized is figure out where you're going to work. I'm very fortunate. We have a spare room in our house that I'm able to use as an office. You may or may not have that space in your house, but it is something that if you get an LLC, you can write off for taxes. So whether or not you go the tax benefit route or just the sanity of mind and knowing that you have a place to get your work done, identify where that's going to be. Make sure you have everything that you need. So that you feel legitimate. And by everything that you mean, I don't mean wall decorations. That's not what I mean. I mean, somewhere where like, you know, your kids or your spouse or your dog or whatever isn't going to come interfere with what you're doing on a regular basis, so that you have a little bit more room and space to kind of identify in your head when you're in work mode versus when you are in mom or family mode. Okay, next up, number 2 is online essentials. Okay. So we already did the basics of opening a business. That's kind of like the stuff that's really intimidating to a lot of people, but doesn't have to be. And you kind of set it up once and then like, it's okay. You do pay taxes every year, but like, you're going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. There's millions of people doing this online. I promise. The next step is the online essentials. And really, this is like your 1, 2, 3 punch of like, no excuses, go do this. You can do everything I'm about to list for you in less than an hour. And I do recommend doing this now. You don't have to do it my way now. If you do, it's going to cost you about $50 for the entire year. Okay. So step 1, go to either Google Workspace, formerly Google G Suite, and purchase a domain. If you're like me and you like the internet and you like domains and you have a little bit of a problem, you can buy it on GoDaddy or wherever you hoard all of your domain names, which is what I do. But you can also do this directly through Google Workspace. At the end of the day, what we're trying to achieve is a professional email. Okay. Remember, you are a virtual assistant. You didn't need anybody's permission, but if you are emailing entrepreneurs under the email, ibblondie230@hotmail.com, Ask me how I know that one. Yes, that was my first email address. I don't have it anymore, so please don't email me there. But anyway, that is not professional. You are not going to look professional. So if you're going to be a virtual assistant, which you are right now, we already declared it, you also need to have a professional persona online that's actually going to match. Not one that's not who you are, but one that shows that you are a business owner and you take your work seriously. Because if you don't put in that effort for your own business, you're not going to give any company or business owner the confidence that you're actually going to take care of their stuff professionally either. So go get a domain. But again, ultimately, the goal is not to go build a website yet. The goal is to get a professional email. So it's going to be your name at yourbusinessname.com. And what's really great about Google is that you're going to get access to docs and spreadsheets and Google storage on Drive. You're going to get a Google Calendar. I have tons of videos on this channel all about managing time, blocking your time, daily 5, all these kind of things. You can go check those out later. But it's going to set you up for success. It's going to give you kind of your online office for running your virtual assistant business. Okay, there's 3 more tools online that you need. They all have pro versions that are paid. They have minimal monthly or annual fees, but you can start with, and I actually recommend you start with the free version. The first is Calendly. This is how you're going to book appointments effortlessly with other people so that you don't have to do the email back and forth. Can you meet Tuesday at 2 or Friday at 7 or whatever? Like, I hate that. No, you give them a link. It's connected to your Google Calendar, which you already got. You're welcome. And they just show up on your calendar and it tells them where to meet, and it's amazing. The second is Zoom. Now, a few years ago, nobody had any idea what Zoom was, except those of us who run online businesses. But since the pandemic, you probably already know what Zoom is, and maybe you even already have a free account. If you want to go back with your business email that you just got and create a new professional business account, that way you're not showing up to your Zoom calls, your sales calls with prospective clients with like your kid's name from virtual school showing up in the corner. Go ahead and do that. You can have more than one account. It's going to be fine. So you go get your Zoom. And last but not least is you want to get with some sort of merchant card online payment gateway. So there's PayPal, which you're probably already familiar with. Just make sure you're running it as a business, not as a person, because you can get in really big trouble for doing that. You could do Stripe. I actually run payments through both Stripe and PayPal. And you can also check out something like Wave. So basically at the end of the day, what we're looking for is how can you invoice clients so that they can therefore pay you money. And then we already talked about that you will need to go get a separate checking account when we talked about the basics of opening a business. So again, this is how we're getting started. We want to know how to talk to people. They're going to book a call. You're going to get on Zoom. You're going to have a conversation. They're going to want to work with you because you're so confident as a virtual assistant. And then they're going to want to throw all their money at you, and you have to have a way to do that. So setting up your online essentials is the next step. Like I said, you can have all of that done in less than an hour. Okay. Last but not least is defining your personal brand. And I don't mean creating mood boards or, fonts and all of this kind of stuff. Like, that's great, but you do not need that to get started. You don't even need that to make a whole lot of money, quite frankly. At some point you might, but your personal brand is it's your ability to show up and talk to other business owners online and in real life and clearly communicate what it is that you do. So I want to point you to a couple other resources that I think are going to help you accomplish this. The first is writing your power pitch. And we've got a video you can check out about how to do that with a formula for actually writing it. And again, conveying what it is that you do, who you help, the problem you solve, and how you kind of move them away from the problem and towards their desired outcome. And this video is going to be a really great resource. I have my power pitch memorized. My name is Lauren Golden. I help moms ditch the 9-to-5 to work from home and live a totally awesome guilt-free life. You're going to want to figure out what that is for you, memorize it, make sure it sounds like you, make sure it's natural. It's how you talk. I say things like totally awesome, but also really communicates to the business owner, yes, that is the person who does the thing that I'm looking to hire for. The second video I want to refer you to is about optimizing your social media profiles. Working as a virtual assistant means you are remote. You are doing quite a bit on the internet. And the way that a lot of people connect on the internet is through social media, whether that's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, and making sure your profile is optimized, not with cute dog photos, but with you, the virtual assistant, is going to be really essential. It's kind of like not using ibblondie230 at hotmail.com for your email. You also don't want to show up just like not that you can't have personal stuff, you can, but you want it to be very obvious that you are the same person from this email, that this is a part of your life, that virtual assistants is something that is a part of your identity, just like being a pet owner or a parent. Last but not least, since you went ahead and you got that professional email, it's really important now that you have all these tools that you match across platforms, from social media to when they're booking that calendar appointment to you, and you're conversing through your invoices and your emails. You want everything to feel cohesive. So you can use one of my favorite resources called canva.com. And I even have a video about how to walk through and create a customized email signature so that, again, you have that cohesive personal brand. You know how to clearly communicate what it is that you do, the problem you solve, and who you want to do it for. All right, you guys, those are my 3 strategies for getting started as a virtual assistant, in addition to, of course, telling people that you are a virtual assistant. I have a free resource for you. It is a checklist, and you can get it by tuning into our free training. It's a 60-minute presentation that tells you even more in-depth strategies for finding and connecting with clients as a virtual assistant, and choosing what services you might want to specialize in, as well as how to set up your pricing. You can find a link to that free training where you're going to get this checklist covering everything that we talked about today and more by signing up at the link down below in the comments. If you have any questions, let us know. Again, down in the comments. We're so glad to have you here on Free Mama TV. If you found value out of all of the things we discussed today, make sure you let me know, like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the bell. That's what's going to notify you every time a new video comes out on Tuesday. So welcome to the Free Mama family. We're so excited you're here. We'll chat with you over in the Facebook group as well as down in the comments below. See you next time. Oh my gosh. No, dang it. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? Basically, the dog just walked in and now he's going to bark. Do not, King, don't do it. Gosh darn it. He is just like standing right there.